medical practitioner who has experienced this firsthand is Dr. Melvin Morse of Seattle's prestigious Children's Hospital.
The near-death experience is, in fact, the dying experience. We will all have this experience when we die. The interpretation of the experience is in dispute. Nevertheless, it's a scientific fact, not a belief system, that we will have this experience when we die. There have been 3 major scientific studies of near-death experiences in the last 15 years. And all 3 of these studies document that these experiences are real and they'll happen to us all when we die. So the old ideas that these experiences are caused by a lack of oxygen to the brain, or are hallucinations caused by chaos in the brain at the point of death, are caused by the drugs that are given to patients that we resuscitate when we're dying. Those ideas were, of course, respectable scientific theories, but turned out to not be true. In fact, near-death experiences are the dying experience. And that's a scientific fact, not an opinion.
First of all, their spirit leaves their bodies, and then not always, but very commonly, they meet Jesus Christ. They describe him as nearly 6 foot tall, but radiating light, tremendous amount of light coming from him, from his face and from his chest and from his arms and from his legs. And he has a golden sash around his waist. Many people, as they come close to, in their minds come these words: "You're in the presence of the Son of God." At that point, many people get down and start to worship Jesus Christ. Many people said they've never felt like that. They've never felt so completely surrounded by love, powerful as that. It's just incredible love. I mean, for example, some of the people I've interviewed have been hardened Second World War soldiers. I mean, these are, tough guys. And they started to cry, as they described, coming to the presence of Jesus. Amazing, really. And then, of course, after that, people either go to heaven, not invariably, but many, either go to heaven or go to hell. Now, let's talk about the nice place. In heaven, first of all, they find themselves in their spirit bodies. They're looking down and they're looking at bright white hands and bright white feet. In fact, the whole body is bright and light and white. They're different bodies. They feel young, they feel rejuvenated, they feel fully in control of all their senses. And yet, for example, Dr. Eby, he described, he said that his sort of reasoning power was greatly increased. His thought processes were much more powerful. He could see much further. He could hear much more. His hearing was much more powerful. His whole body was just a much better upgrade model, if you like. But then what do they see? Well, first of all, they often describe walking either on streets of transparent gold, as it says in Revelation 21, or walking in fields of flowers, but these flowers are radiating light. Light comes from the trees and the flowers and the grass. And there's not only light coming from the trees and the flowers and the grass, but music as well. And here's an amazing thing. Many people have said, "Richard, it's an extraordinary thing, but you can see music in heaven." Now, I can't explain that. I just can't explain that, but they say you can see the music in heaven. And then they say there's no sun there, but light just comes from the trees and the flowers and the grass. People have seen the river of life. Some people have seen the throne of God, that's God the Father, which is very big actually. It's many people have said it's up to 3 stories high. And there's a rainbow over the throne, just like it says in the scriptures. Many people have seen this great lake in front of the throne, and people have seen crowds and crowds of people around the throne of God, all praising God. And remember, you can see the music. Now, people have been transported around different parts of heaven. We tend to think of heaven as a place. It's a huge place. It's huge. It's massive. It's outside time, which is difficult for us to comprehend. But another thing is people can travel to different parts of heaven instantaneously. People have met their angels, their personal angels. Psalm 91 says we have our own personal angels, and many, many people have seen their own personal angels. It's amazing. It's absolutely... And, you know, one woman I'm thinking of met her own child in heaven. This little girl, she was only 10, she was killed by a truck or a lorry. This was in the States, and when she got to heaven, there's this little child playing in a beautiful garden. And she was ecstatically happy, playing with a lot of other children as well. So that's heaven. Heaven is just dramatic. And in fact, you can always tell when people have been to heaven, because they're just yearning to go back. Most of the people who I've met who've really seen heaven just wanted to be there.
Is the experience then purely subjective? Some experts believe not. Dr. Richard Kent, a retired medical doctor, has traveled the world studying the NDE phenomenon over many years and has written several books on the subject. Of the 300 case studies he has made, an alarming amount report not only the existence of a heavenly afterlife reality, but also a hellish one.
A place called hell. And they describe it's an absolutely terrible and awful place. Now, I don't know what it's like in South Africa, but in England, many churches don't talk about hell very much. I don't know why. Jesus spoke about hell a great deal. He said it's a place to be avoided. Anyway, they describe hell as somewhere that's dark and oppressive. Now, they describe it as very hot. It's very unpleasant. There are demons there who are tormenting the people who go there. It's a horrendous, awful place. It's a place where people are terrified, are frightened, and people, even who've seen hell, even years later, they recoil in horror at what they saw there. Just a place of awfulness. People have seen Satan there. People have actually had conversations with Satan. People have had conversations with demons there. People have heard the demons swear. They said they never heard language such as they heard in hell. They had all the swear words that are commonly used and more.
For mankind, the NDE phenomenon holds a message. Death is reality, and according to research and those who have witnessed heaven and hell through NDE experiences, we must think about our own lives. We will die as we live.